Urgent San Francisco 49ers fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we bring you daily videos with the latest San Francisco 49ers updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, guys, today we're diving deep into the current state of the San Francisco 49ers, a team that's been building some serious momentum lately, but also facing some key questions, especially at a position that's often overlooked until it's crunch time, the wide receiver core. And trust me, what's happening right now with the 49ers wide receivers is more than just a minor issue. It could very well impact their entire season, and maybe even their Super Bowl chances. So, buckle up, because we're going to unpack everything, from injuries to potential signings, and what this all means for a team that's been so close to greatness in recent years. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Brandon Aiyuk. If you've been following the 49ers all season, you already know that Aiyuk has been a crucial part of their offense. This guy is a game-changer when healthy. But here's the thing, Aiyuk is currently recovering from a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. That's a serious injury, and as of now, the prognosis isn't very encouraging. Reports suggest that Aiyuk probably won't make a full recovery until 2026, which means the 2025 season could see him sidelined for a good chunk of the year. That's a huge blow for San Francisco, especially considering how integral he's been as a deep threat, a route runner, and a reliable target for Brock Purdy. Now, it's not just Aiyuk. The depth chart at wide receiver is looking a little thin, to say the least. Jawan Jennings, who's been a solid possession receiver for the 49ers, finds himself in a bit of a bind. He's been asked to step into the number one receiver role at times, which isn't exactly ideal. Jennings is a tough guy, a fighter, but he's not exactly a top-tier playmaker, and that's what the 49ers need right now. When you look at the other options, it gets even more concerning. Ricky Pearsall, who has had limited opportunities and only one big game in his career so far, is trying to step up but clearly isn't a proven commodity at this point. Pearsall, while promising, still needs to develop that consistency. And then, of course, there's Deebo Samuel, who, as many of you know, is now playing for the Washington Commanders. That's right, Deebo's gone. The team traded him in a move that surprised many, but it makes sense from a cap and roster building perspective. Samuel's injury history and the fact that he's now with a different franchise means the 49ers have to find new ways to replace his production, which is no small feat, considering how much he meant to their offense. And as if that wasn't enough, Demarcus Robinson, another key receiver who was expected to help fill the void, is reportedly facing a suspension to start the season, possibly for the first 3 games, due to a DUI arrest last November. That's a setback right out of the gate. This brings us to a critical point that's been discussed heavily in the NFL community lately. What can the 49ers do to fix this wide receiver situation? The answer, according to many analysts, is to bring in proven talent. And this is where the buzz around free agent receiver Amari Cooper really heats up. Bleacher Report recently made a compelling case that the 49ers should sign Cooper, and honestly, I couldn't agree more. Why? Because Cooper, when healthy, is still one of the most reliable and explosive receivers in the league. He's a route technician, a deep threat, and has a knack for creating separation. Despite battling injuries in 2024 that limited his production, the 30-year-old veteran still has a lot to offer, if he's healthy. Let's put this into perspective. The 49ers just signed a massive 5-year, $265 million extension with quarterback Brock Purdy. That's a huge investment, and it signals that the team is all in on winning now. But with Christian McCaffrey aging and the offensive line doing its best to hold up, Purdy's success hinges on having reliable weapons around him. If Aiyuk can't go for most of 2025, and with the uncertainty surrounding Jennings, Pearsall, and the suspension of Robinson, the team's options become limited. Signings like Cooper could be exactly what they need to give Purdy more weapons, more options, and a better chance to push for that elusive Super Bowl. Imagine Cooper lining up on the outside, stretching defenses, and creating mismatches, while Jennings acts as a possession receiver who can move the chains. Cooper's ability to run crisp routes and generate separation makes him a perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense. And let's not forget, Cooper has been a consistent producer throughout his career, with over 700 receptions and more than 10,000 receiving yards. Even with injuries, he's shown he can still be a game-changer on any given Sunday. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what about the cap space? Will the 49ers be able to afford him? Well, that's a valid point, but in today's NFL, teams are always juggling contracts and salary cap considerations. The 49ers have shown they're willing to make bold moves, and acquiring Cooper on a 1 or 2 year deal could be a smart gamble. It's a move that could pay off big time, especially if it helps them secure a Super Bowl appearance in the next year or two. And let's step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture here. The NFC is wide open right now. The Eagles, Cowboys, and even the reigning NFC champions are all formidable opponents, but the 49ers have the talent and coaching to compete with anyone. They just need to fill in those gaps, especially at wide receiver, and bring in a player with proven production and leadership qualities. Cooper fits that bill perfectly. Plus, with Shanahan's offensive system, a player like Cooper could thrive, creating mismatches and helping Brock Purdy develop even further as a leader and a passer. Switching gears a bit, I want to talk about the team's recent draft and roster moves. The 49ers have done quite a bit to build depth, especially on defense, where they're stacked with stars like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Javon Hargrave. But offense, particularly at receiver, has been a bit of a concern. The team's draft picks have shown promise, but young receivers take time to develop. That's why an experienced veteran like Cooper could be the missing piece to push them over the top. And, of course, the coaching staff, led by Kyle Shanahan, is known for maximizing the talent they have. But even the best coaches need players to work with. Bringing in someone like Cooper would give Purdy a reliable target who can instantly improve the passing game and help balance the offense. Shanahan's scheme relies heavily on precision routes, timing, and creating space, all of which Cooper excels at. So, it's not just about adding a name, it's about fitting a puzzle piece that can elevate the entire offense. Now, I want to mention some of the other factors that make this signing so appealing. Cooper's veteran presence, leadership, and knack for big plays are invaluable for a team that's so close to making a deep playoff run. Plus, his experience in high-pressure situations, especially in the playoffs, could be the difference in tight games. With the 49ers' defense being as dominant as it is, having a reliable, experienced receiver who can step up in clutch moments could be exactly what's needed to push them over the edge. So, to wrap this all up, the 49ers are facing some challenges at the wide receiver position, no doubt. Injuries, suspensions, and the need for proven production make it clear that they should look seriously at bringing in a veteran like Amari Cooper. It's a move that makes sense financially, strategically, and in terms of team chemistry. With Cooper on board, the 49ers could enhance their offense significantly, giving Brock Purdy the weapons he needs to lead them to the promised land, a Super Bowl victory. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the team should go all in on Cooper? Or do you believe they have enough depth already? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, insider info, and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Niners!